It was a crisp Tuesday morning in Providence Municipal Court. The sun streamed through the tall windows, casting golden stripes across the polished wooden benches. The courtroom, usually calm, hummed with quiet murmurs, because today's case involved a man who many assumed was untouchable, the son of a powerful congressman. But power, as everyone would soon learn, has limits. At exactly 9:15 a.m., the bailiff called, "The State of Rhode Island versus Jameson Reynolds." Heads turned. Whispers filled the air. People craned their necks to get a glimpse of the young man, whose behavior outside this very courtroom had shocked the city. Jameson Reynolds strode in as if he owned every inch of the space he entered. The tailored suit, the designer shoes, and the polished leather briefcase all screamed wealth and privilege. But his smirk, that dangerous blend of arrogance and mischief, told everyone here something more. He believed rules did not apply to him. Judge Frank Caprio, however, did not flinch. With his characteristic calm and measured gaze, he looked up from his bench. His eyes met Jameson's, and the silent intensity of that moment set the tone for the drama that would unfold. Jameson's entrance wasn't subtle. He waved to his father's aides, acknowledging their presence with a cocky grin. "Don't worry, Dad, I've got this," he whispered, loud enough for reporters in the back to catch. The courtroom had filled quickly. Some spectators were curious, others were disgusted, and a few were journalists primed for the viral moment they were about to witness. Among the crowd was the man at the center of Jameson's audacity, a disabled veteran, sitting quietly, legs visibly affected from a past military injury. His expression was calm but firm, embodying the dignity and courage that Jameson would soon mock. Jameson plopped down in the defendant's chair. The movement was deliberate, designed to draw attention. He rolled his shoulders back, rested one elbow on the polished wood table, and glanced at everyone in the room, the judge, the veteran, the jury, with a mix of amusement and disdain. Judge Caprio began. "Mr. Reynolds, you are charged with harassment, verbal assault, and public disrespect toward a disabled veteran. How do you plead?" Jameson leaned back, smirk widening. "Guilty of being misunderstood, Your Honor," he said, his tone dripping with mock sincerity. The courtroom murmured. Judge Caprio's gaze sharpened but remained composed. He had seen arrogance before, but this was different. The story that led to this courtroom drama was simple yet shocking. A week prior, Jameson Reynolds had attended a community event honoring veterans. When he noticed the veteran's physical disability, a visible injury to his legs, he made a series of mocking gestures. Whispers in the crowd confirmed the worst. He had laughed, made crude jokes, and mimicked the veteran's movements in front of dozens of witnesses. Security footage captured every detail. The veteran, who had served his country with honor, simply stood with dignity, ignoring the jeers. But Jameson's actions were caught on camera, along with the gasps and outrage of those around him. Police were called after complaints from multiple attendees. Jameson, when confronted, openly flaunted his family connections, insisting he was untouchable. "Do you know who my father is?" he demanded to the officers. "You can't touch me." But the law doesn't bend for lineage, and that was the message the court was about to deliver. Judge Caprio activated the courtroom video system. The screens flickered to life, revealing the event in real time. Jameson, in his youthfully arrogant manner, exaggerated movements, mockingly hopping as he imitated the veteran. Laughter escaped him, echoing through the event hall. The veteran's legs, once instruments of courage in combat zones, were now the target of ridicule. The contrast was stark, and the courtroom audience reacted viscerally. Gasps, murmurs, even audible groans filled the room. Judge Caprio's voice, calm yet commanding, filled the courtroom. "Mr. Reynolds, do you find your behavior acceptable?" Jameson shrugged. "It was a joke. Lighten up, Your Honor. People take life too seriously." A murmur ran through the courtroom. The veterans present exchanged looks of disbelief. Judge Caprio remained still, letting the silence hang heavily before responding. "A joke at someone's expense, especially someone who has served and sacrificed, is not entertainment, Mr. Reynolds. It is disrespect. And in this court, disrespect carries consequences. Jameson leaned forward, attempting to charm the court. Your Honor, I didn't mean any real harm. It's just humor. Everyone laughs. I was making people smile. Nobody got hurt. The courtroom chuckled softly, but the veteran's stern gaze made it clear that this was not a situation for laughter. Judge Caprio looked directly at him. Mr. Reynolds, the law is not a matter of intent alone. The law also protects dignity, respect, and the vulnerable. Do you understand that your actions caused public harm and emotional distress? Jameson's smirk faltered. He tried again, flaunting wealth. Look, I can make donations, help charities, sponsor events. I give back more than most people do in a lifetime. Surely that counts for something. The judge's expression remained unwavering. Your wealth does not excuse misconduct. Your status does not place you above justice. Jameson's face twitched with frustration. So what? You'll ruin me for one joke. One joke, Judge Caprio repeated, voice now steely. One action that humiliated a disabled veteran and offended the community. One action that demonstrates a lack of accountability. This court will not be complicit in entitlement. The moment of judgment arrived. Judge Caprio rose, his presence commanding attention. He spoke clearly, each word deliberate. Mr. Reynolds, for public disrespect, harassment, and emotional harm to a disabled veteran, this court finds you guilty. You are hereby sentenced to community service assisting veterans for 6 months, mandatory public apology to the individual you mocked, and enrollment in a civic responsibility program designed to teach respect and accountability. Jameson's jaw dropped. His lawyers whispered frantically. The courtroom erupted in quiet shock. Some gasped audibly, others applauded softly. This was justice served not through wealth or privilege, but through accountability. Judge Caprio continued. Additionally, a detailed report of your actions and this sentence will be shared with your father and the public record, ensuring transparency and reinforcing that privilege does not exempt one from moral responsibility. Aftermath and cliffhanger. As Jameson left the courtroom, escorted by officers, the veteran rose and nodded respectfully to Judge Caprio. The audience stood, some clapping, others moved to tears. The message was clear. Integrity, courage, and dignity triumph over arrogance and entitlement. But the story doesn't end here. Questions remain. How will Jameson respond to public scrutiny? Will his father intervene? Will the lessons of this courtroom translate into real change? One thing is certain. Judge Caprio has once again reminded the world that justice is blind to wealth, and no one is above accountability. And just when you think the story has ended, new developments are already unfolding. If you thought this was shocking, subscribe now to follow the next chapter, where consequences, public outrage, and unexpected twists continue to unravel. This is courtroom drama at its finest, and you won't want to miss what happens next.